Hello, English 1302 students. This is day number 3 of the research project. I want to talk to you a little bit today about developing a research question. This will be a research question that will eventually evolve into your thesis statement. I've spoken briefly about it yesterday, but I want to go into a little more detail about it today. How you develop one. The first thing to do is to take an overview of your narrowed subject of research. And once you've done the overview of your subject, then what you need to do is figure out what is it that I do not at this point understand or know about the subject that I've selected for research. And try to form that in a question. And then you can also look at your sources, the sources of your critical approach and the sources of literary criticism that you're finding on your play. And then also as well, questions that come naturally to your mind about your narrowed subject. And then also return to your interest, to the first point when you were first experiencing the play, when you were experiencing the play for the first time. What did you find interesting about it? And try to use your interests in the formulation of a question, a research question that you want to know more about. And go ahead and write that down. And then you can work from a hypothesis that you may have about the play and work that into a question. If you have a sense that something may be true about this play, you have a feeling about it, you may have a hunch about it, you want to do research on that particular hunch, then you need to write it down. Get it down in a question form. And then go forward with the research and see how your actual research answers the question that you may have about the play. And then you need to think always about the scope of this assignment. You only have 5 to 7 pages to write this essay, this research project. I know to many of you that may seem like a daunting task. But really and truly, that's not many pages long. And so you must narrow your subject down to the point that it can be covered in the scope of a 5 to 7 page paper. So that's a big consideration. Which questions of yours that you have do you feel can be answered in that length of a document, of a paper, an essay? And as you go along, develop some keywords. Keywords, it can be phrases that are particularly noteworthy from the play itself. Keywords you find over and over again in descriptions of the play. Keywords that you yourself come up with that you think particularly describe your play. The word jealousy is a word that comes up again and again when we think of Othello. The American dream is a term that comes up when we think of Arthur Miller's play, Death of a Salesman. So use those key words in developing this research question. Embed the key words into your research question to focus exactly what you're writing about. And then you'll want to focus who you're writing this paper for. Not simply for me, the person who's going to put on the grading and evaluation hat one of these days, but also the larger world of readers who have also experienced these 3 plays, and they have an active interest in these plays. And fine-tune your paper, your research effort to that larger audience for your paper, always considering your readers when you're writing. I hope this advice on developing a research question for your English 1302 Research Project Day 3. Hope this helped you. I'll be back tomorrow with some more advice on Day 4. See you then.